That's what it looks like. Dude. Hey y'all, how you doing? Someone can let me know you hear me. I would appreciate it. We can hear you, sweet. All right, cool. Let's get to it. Sorry, there's a little bit of delay here between what I see and all that stuff. So if I'm just sitting here in silence, that's why. Yeah, so let's get into the SPX. Here we have the SPX here. A couple things to note off the bat. I mean, just been a ton of pin action around our transition zones, that being the first off 64.40. Go watch the pre-market recap. We did YouTube live as well, about 25 minutes long. We go into the detail of how we got that. So yeah, I mean, that's really been holding up well. You know, early in the session, granted this was, 15 minutes in, had every reason to go lower here, failed to go lower. Right, so then it's kind of set the tone for the session. Right now, we're still just in the middle of our transition zone, so really not a ton to do from a directional point of view. That is not to say selling credit spreads above and below. Certainly something that you could be doing. Getting into our vol M, just looking at what that is telling us right now, you can see that fairly sideways throughout the session, especially when we got that push down early in the session. The put side was actually rocketing up, so another kind of tell we weren't really seeing like substantial dump lower from there. Looking at the market trend model, fairly flat. We can see RSP price action in the lime green, flattening out as well, have started to trend higher from there. So that's why, haven't been pressing the gas pedal to the downside. Again, just recapping, the reason for that is, not able to sustain a move below bottom of our drunken sailor range, which eventually held, and then we're just not seeing, a ton of speculation to the downside. It's really just flat action from here. So yeah, from a directional point of view, really not a ton to say right now. Nothing looks super interesting there. More probably just selling ranges. Probably a lot of folks doing credit spreads, probably looking at butterflies into the end of the session, because there's really no indication or reason why we would be ripping one way or another, all else equal. Now, obviously, some news could come out, but we can't predict that, right? So let me know if you guys got any questions. We can go through some single stocks as well to see what they are doing. Let me get to that view. So here, yeah, I mean, a lot of the same pretty choppy price action. We were talking about early in the pre-market webinar. There really just weren't a lot of interesting candidates today. Reason being is, just not a lot of action around top of the transition zone, which is what we like from more of a longer term play, or not longer term, but upside. So Apple, you can see, found respect right at its P-trans level now, just kind of in no man's land. Really not a good bit of distance between, plus Gex, which is key upside level, and Apple. Tesla bumping against plus Gex level. So we were talking in the pre-market about, someone's question was, could we get to 385 this week? And it was not looking likely, just because the next three expirations were all capped at 350, but the monthly expiration is up at 400. So we were saying, if we could get above 350, then 385 and 400 looks more likely, but we need to hold, really need to break through 350 and hold right now. Nvidia, middle of no man's land, working its way up to plus Gex. Microsoft, this was the one interesting one in the pre-market that I was looking at, but unfortunately, it's rejected off P-trans rather than, accepting that and moving higher, so nothing to do there. Google, super strong name in the market right now. Found resistance right at plus Gex. Just pulling back from there, not a ton to do. Amazon, this was not when I was looking at in the pre-market. But yeah, middle of no man's land, kind of, you can see it's, right around its plus Gex level. Meta, this was another interesting name. I just like the risk to reward here, given where P trans is, where plus Gex is, what its overall structure looks like. So, ideally we get a bit of a lift from P trans, which would be more appealing for an entry to the upside. Palantir, this was the name of the pre-market. Hanging out. You can see a ton of pin action the last couple of days, right around its 0 Gex P trans levels. So yeah, granted, it's got speculation up to 200, but yeah, I just need to. So yeah, that really goes single stock wise. Let me know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about. So I'm just looking at some at Twitter real quick. Yeah, CSPX is starting to break the large transition zone again. Let's see, market trim model. It's still flat as a pancake. We'll just throw that up. Get a little SPX action going on in there. Get that right there. Same, yeah, as you can see, range bound day, just kind of chopping back and forth. Not super interesting, so. Another thing we're looking at, right? RSP, good one to look at. We were seeing a bit of a divergence this in the morning when we were selling off. SPX was staying fairly strong, but RSP just doesn't really been getting anything going. So it's rolling over again, going back to IWM's been pretty strong. Q's rejecting again at top of P trans level. Look at SPY. So yeah, just super choppy. Not sure if you guys have any questions. I don't really have a ton else to say right now. I can hang out for a minute. And, so you guys can look at the tick and whatever, but other thing, if you guys are foreign to Gamma Edge, never seen it before, curious about options market, all that good stuff, Gamma Edge Fast Pass, Gamma Edge at US, go to free news courses. Again, this is our kind of flagship course for you. It's our entire tools, methodology, system, strategies, all that good stuff. Everything paid members get, we just package it up in courses for you guys, so feel free to check it out if you want to take advantage of it. So yeah, I'm happy to hang out here, guys, as long as you want. I mean, if there's no questions, I'm gonna get back to the Discord. But if you guys do have questions, happy to answer them. I mean, really, unfortunately, there's just not a trendy move to be had right now. But I mean, that doesn't mean you can't make money, right? Selling stuff above and below the range, all that good stuff. Potentially looking at some. You know, if this chop continues, which, you know, assuming all else equal, that's what we're projected to do. Maybe a good butterfly candidate into the close. So I mean, that's the power of, right, this intraday volume analysis video is kind of understanding where price may go, but also where it's not likely to go, which, you know, trading all comes down to probability. So that's it's important to know, right? So no, I have no idea what happened in the last 4 minutes, and no one does really, right? There's so many agents that have to operate in that last window, and we tell people good luck trying to, you know, operate in there with certainty. So no, it can't be more help there, but there's so much pin action that's going on. It's hard to tell. You know, Greeks are collapsing to zero, all that good stuff. Oh, I assume you mean this candle, probably. Yeah. I mean, this looks like a lot of selling came in the market. Yeah, and you know, it's kind of on a short-term momentum basis. You know, we rolled over yesterday, continuation today. Our P Transit Plus GEX 100% mechanical strategy, that's been turned off now with losing, you know, the longer-term moving average ribbon. It's kind of been going back and forth, right? So a choppy market just in general is kind of a weakening market. So that's the way we look at it. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna end it there. I mean, it's like watching paint dry right now, so not a ton else to say. For those that switch over from the Discord, appreciate it. We'll be back in there momentarily. I'm gonna go get some lunch now, so appreciate the time. See y'all.